Hi, I'm Greg Allen and I'm the founder of Response Fire and Electrical, and I'm really excited because today I'm going to show you all about smoke detectors, where they need to be located, what types you need in your home, and I want to talk about the Residential Tenancies Act as well. If you're a landlord, I want to just explain all the different situations. When you're renting or selling your home now, you need to have hardwired 240 volt smoke detectors installed, and we'll talk all about that in this session. So really excited to get started on this one, and if you have any questions at all, just shoot me an email or comment below. Really excited to get started on this one anyway. So here we go. Is the first thing I want to talk about is this dead airspace. Dead airspace, when I was working as a commercial fire installer, is you need to be 30 centimeters from a wall or a ceiling, because you need to ensure that the smoke detector is in a location where it will work effectively. So if it's installed right in the corner, what happens is the smoke rises up and then it will curl around the corner. It doesn't even get into the corner. So if your smoke detectors at your home are installed right up against the wall or right up on the wall next to the ceiling, then they're not going to be effective and may not go off in when you need them to. So something to be aware of when you go through and have a look at your own smoke detectors. Just check that they're not installed right next to a wall. Second of all, what type of smoke detectors do you need to have installed? Now, what you need to have is a 240 volt smoke detector. Now, you're going to be able to tell if it's a 240 volt smoke detector because it has a solid green light on it. Now, the solid green light means that there's mains power going to it. And what you also need to make sure is that it's less than 10 years old. So if you lift down the flap, check out how to change the battery smoke detector battery video that we've done. It will show you how to take the head from the base on any detector type. And on the back of that detector will have an expiry date. It needs to be less than 10 years old. So just check that, make sure that that's up to date as well, because after 10 years old, the sensor stops operating, or it degrades over time, but it stops to be effective after 10 years and it may not work when you need it to. Now, where do they need to be located? Alright, so best way to tell you about this is they need to be outside every bedroom area on a single story house. So you can see in this first example here, they've got a bedroom here, here and here, and it's outside of the bedroom area. So I'd classify this as one bedroom area. If you've got a common area or common living space separating bedroom areas, then you would need two. So for the second diagram here, we've got bedroom, bedroom. So that's bedroom area number one. And then you've got kitchen, dining, living room. So that's your common area separating other bedroom areas. So there's a bedroom at the back. So need to put a smoke detector outside of that bedroom as well. Hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, remember just to shoot me a question and I'm happy to answer it for you. Now, what you also need is a smoke detector on every story of a multi-story building. So you can see down there that there's, on this 3-story house, there's 3 smoke detectors. Now that's regardless of bedroom areas. Now, if you've got a bottom story that looks like that and a top story that looks like that, because there's common living space separating those bedroom areas, you're going to need 4 smoke detectors. So that's sort of how you work it out. So I hope that makes sense, and that it all makes sense to you. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Residential Tenancies Act. Now, in terms of maintenance of smoke detectors, it is the landlord's responsibility to ensure that the smoke detector complies with the regulations, that it's less than 10 years old, and that it's working. Now, what some tenants like to do is disengage the head and leave it hanging and it's not functional. Sometimes the clips actually break on the smoke detector and it falls down just a little bit, but it's no longer operating because the battery goes flat. And in that scenario, if it was tested regularly, you would pick up on those small things like that break over time, and you can't help when those things break. Also, the sensors stop to work, so you need to somehow prove that you're getting regular testing or that the sensor is operating under test conditions, so using smoke, artificial smoke, to simulate a real fire scenario. So just be wary of that as a landlord. You need to make sure you have some sort of proof that they are less than 10 years old and that they are working, and that they are to the standard in terms of location as well, and 240 volt smoke detectors. Now there are some scenarios where you can install a lithium smoke detector, 9 volt, 10-year lithium smoke detector. Now with those you can install them when there's no access to a cabling system only. So you can't just go ahead and install one when there's a ceiling space and access to the electrical system. It needs to be installed only when there's no access to a cabling system. For instance, a slab ceiling on a 2-story house, or if it's a skillion roof where you can't access the cabling system where it needs to be located. In those scenarios you can put a 9 volt 10-year lithium smoke detector in those locations. So that pretty much covers everything you need to know about smoke detectors, where they need to be installed, what type you need and where, and if you're selling or renting your property out, you will need to ensure that you get an electrical safety certificate showing that they are compliant with the Residential Tenancies Act, or that they comply with the building standards as well. And happy to help you out with that too. If you have any questions, just let me know. But hope this really helps you understand all about smoke detectors. Have a super fantastic day, and we'll talk to you very soon.